Good evening. Welcome to WSBI, your resource for success podcast program, where you get to meet inspiring women-owned businesses from across the country. And now, for your host, Kimberly McLemore.
All right, good evening and welcome to WSBI, your Resource for Success podcast program, where you get to meet inspiring entrepreneurs and women-owned businesses from across the country. I am your host, Kimberly McLemore, CEO and founder of the Women's Small Business Initiative, LLC, and award-winning author. And welcome to another night of sharing. And with us, we have a special guest, singer and songwriter Gary Pratt. With over a decade in the music industry, renowned country singer Gary Pratt is sharing his unique country sound with the masses. While this is my introduction to Pratt, he has already established a name in the U.S. music scene, performing with artists like Pam Tillis, Lorrie Morgan, Ronnie Milsap, Dwight Yoakum, Neal, McCoy, and Gale, as well as playing notable festivals like the Rocky Gap Music Festival and Tennessee State Fair. Pratt has built a loyal following, a following that continues to grow. Along with his gigging experience, the U.S.-based singer-songwriter has received several accolades, being a Josie Music Awards nominee in 2021 and an International Singer-Songwriters Association Songwriter of the Year Award winner in 2021. Recently, he received the ISSA Male Emerging Artist of 2022 and the Hollywood Red Carpet Fair Play Award for his song Country to the Bone. Gary has been featured in the Hollywood Digest, Skope Magazine, Music Update Central, and New Music Weekly, just to name a few publications. Pratt is described as a good-natured, anthemic, and setting the world on fire. Coming off his 2021 album, Something Worth Remembering, Gary Pratt is a singer, a songwriter, but most of all, an energetic country entertainer who connects with his audience. So without further ado, please help me welcome to my platform, Mr. Gary Pratt. Hey, Gary, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for that introduction.
Well, it is my pleasure, and I'm excited. And there's so much more that we are absolutely going to be learning about you tonight. And I'm just, as I was reading this earlier, and then I talked to you earlier, and I went back and did a little more time. I was like, you know what? This name has been always sounded so familiar to me. Sir, you have been around quite some time, haven't you?
I've been around the block, you could say. I've been doing music all my life, so it's ever since I was a kid. So I, it's part of me, and I just keep plugging at it, and hope good things are happening, and people are hearing my music, and I got a chance to be on podcasts such as yours tonight, and I rarely get to talk about my Christmas music, but we're going to do that a little bit later too, and I'm just excited to show, and thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome. You are so welcome. Like I said, I enjoy having an opportunity to meet a lot of good artists that are, up and coming or ones who have been around for a period of time. And the manager, Michael, has been phenomenal to work with. So I'm always excited to have you all on my show. And then, like you said, we're definitely going to be talking, definitely a little history about who you are, but about your Christmas album, because the season is coming, or should we say is already here. I still can't believe we're already in November. Soon hang out in December, and Christmas, is coming, and the toys and all the good stuff. So we're actually going to get it started a little earlier. So before though we start jumping into everything, Gary, why don't you just tell the listeners a little bit more about who you are, besides what I've read, and share a little bit more of your story.
Yeah, I was raised in a small coal mining town called Slickville, which is in Pennsylvania, about 40 miles east of Pittsburgh, and raised with two brothers, and sort of out in the rural area, and we did a lot of we had horses, we had cows, we had things like that, and did a lot of dirt bike riding and all kinds of stuff like that. But in the midst of it all, I was sort of a backward kid, and I think that's how I got into music. And my parents were just so supportive with everything that I wanted to do with music, and taking me back and forth to Nashville and helping me get my first band started when I was like 15. Wow. And I've been writing since then. And most of the people that were in my bands, like when I was, earlier in age, were musicians that were a lot older, like in their 20s, 21s, or above. So I got the experience of playing in some places that if I would have just been in a band with, kids my own age, I wouldn't have been able to play a lot of the places that I played, and got so much experience, from all these people that have been in my bands. And one thing about band members, I think once you're in a band, you sort of become like family. And I have so many connections with people from my past that it's amazing how, God brings those people into your life and they become, friends for life. But that's how band people are. But I've had a lot of experience like that, a lot of support, growing up with my two brothers, and it's been awesome. I've been so blessed in my life with that. I mean, we've had some tragedy in our life the last couple years. That's sort of how these albums came together, these last two albums. My middle brother passed away about 5 years ago, and
sorry to hear that.
I was and that's sort of how this Angels of the Snow, I wanted to do a Christmas album, and I really wasn't thinking about dedicating it to him, and it did not actually become dedicated to him. It just became a venue for me to express to people at my shows how important life is, and not take things for granted. Spend your holidays, with the people that you love, and make room for that, and don't let life get in the way. So that was sort of the aspect of that album. And then we'll get into the other album a little bit later. But, I just want people to know who I am, because we all have problems in our life, and we all have obstacles, and no family's perfect, and we just have to, we have to make room for those people that we love, because actually that's all we have in life. And that's right. Sort of my message that I'm trying to get out there. And I grew up, like I said, I had a good childhood, and God's been good to me, and I just keep on plugging along and looking for the good things in life. And I try to put that in my music, writing music about negative situations and turning them positive, that type of thing. And I try to think that way too. So, but that's a little bit about me and, how I think and what my music's about.
Right. And well, again, I'm sorry for the loss, and I know it's tough, and it just seems obviously that, year after year, I'm sure it makes it even harder. And when the holidays come, that makes it even more difficult when you think about the time that you should be spending, like you said, with your families and so forth. And we know that we live in a world and society that's all about run, everything's got to be done. Just sometimes we don't sit back and think about the most things that are most important to us. And then at the end of the day, when we leave here, we can't take any of those things that we're working hard for with us. But when we do leave, we miss our families, and, we don't realize how important all of that is until something of this nature happens. And your message is very clear, and it's important that people do hear it, because I know right now, I think we live in a world that needs a whole lot more love, and needs to come together more and realize what truly is important every day, that we get the opportunity to get up and complain, get the opportunity to get up and sing, get the opportunity to get up and work and do those things that we think they're so more important. But in your music, as a songwriter, talk about how everything that you see in the world does affect you.
Well, every day can be a challenge, but if I hear someone in a certain situation, and they might be, complaining about something. Every day is a blessing. Every day is a gift. And as far as, like I said, I try to write songs. If I hear someone that has a negative situation and look at life, try to look at life positively. And no matter what's going on every day, it's almost a choice to have a good day or have a negative day. And I try to put that in the music that I write. sometimes it's difficult for everybody someday just to think, oh, I'm just going to have a great day,
Right.
It just doesn't happen. But
Right.
I have such a good relationship with God that I trust that He knows better in my life what's going to go on, and I just got to trust that. Other things in my music, I try to tell people, where I am in life, because life is a progression. And when I'm out on the stage and I'm doing shows, I let people know that there's struggles in life, and this is what I went through, and this is what I'm singing about today. Hopefully that answers your question. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I think the big thing is that, like I say, you're sharing your experiences, and then what you're also relaying is the fact that, really people aren't alone. You're not alone, and others aren't alone even when they believe that they are. And sometimes, we all know that music can bring people together. So, what you're doing is allowing yourself to be vulnerable to the world, but also allowing others to come with you on that ride so that they can understand that, hey, this is life. But if you get up every day with that attitude of realizing that, you're not special or unique, but that you should just be thankful that today is another day for another opportunity. Today is another day to grow. Today is another day to do something great that you have been thinking about. Even if it didn't start out that way, you still have the opportunity to get to make the rest of the day worthwhile, to get up and live and not worry about some of the minute things that we always worry about, because it's easier. Sometimes it's easier just to say, no, I don't want to do this, and I want to have a crappy day, right? So,
right.
and you really... Go ahead.
Sometimes, for myself, I may see someone who's having a lousy day, and just being nice to them and just smiling and doing something nice and getting out of your own self.
Exactly.
Be it whatever kind of situation you may be in, it helps you too. It helps you sometimes more than it helps someone else. But just being kind to other people. Even there's people that are like in addictions, alcohol or drug abuse, and they're in a program or whatever. That's something that they tell you. Get out of yourself, help somebody else in your same situation. Or like I've met people that have lost siblings too, since my brother, and I'm able to help them. I'm able to, and that by helping them, it gets me out of that situation too. It gets me. It's helping myself too, and sometimes you just need to help somebody else during the day to make your day a little bit better.
Exactly. But also, when you have someone like you're well known, and so a lot of times too, people will put all that weight on your shoulders, and so sometimes people don't realize how much you need them as much as they need you. So sometimes I know I find myself that when I'm talking to people, or people are constantly coming to me, or I'm sharing a little message, just or a post to start the day out, is that it's not always just for them. It's for me as well, to get myself up and going and give me that armor or strength that I need to have, because sometimes people just can gravitate to you knowing that they feel like you have all the answers, and the reality is you don't. But just that few seconds of just listening, it helps that individual, but it also can help us. So, for me, music is also that thing that just, it winds me down. It makes me feel so good. I listen to music sometimes 24 hours a day, even in the background. I'm sitting here working all day, and it's like, I have to have my music on. It's the most calming thing in the world that keeps that spirit up for me. So I know that, just that music, like you said, is for the world, but I'm sure it's definitely for you, for sure.
Yeah, it's a way for me to express myself too, like you said, and writing, different songs, I think is helpful, through some of the things that I've been through. That, it's a healing process too, as I'm writing. So, like I said, it's a blessing, because I'm able to do that. I'm able to express myself in maybe a creative way, but it helps me when I'm writing. It might be a good song or a bad song I'm writing, the next day I'm like, boy, that was awful. What was I thinking of? But during that time,
right,
it happens. That don't make no sense at all, but it helped me during the time.
Right, exactly. But I guess it's kind of like your journal, right? Instead of you having to always write, even though you're a songwriter, but a lot of people journal and they use that as a way to express themselves. And for you, it's easy to pick, to sit down, at the piano or pick up a guitar or whatever, or just stand there and just start singing, start thinking of something that brings that moment of a journey that you're on at that moment that you just want to share with the world. Now that even if it doesn't make sense to you after you've said it, it will usually make sense to somebody else. So,
that's possible, but that's it's a crazy world. My mind's a little crazy sometimes too, but I'm just happy I'm able to do that. I'm just so it's overwhelming sometimes when I think about it. How it's just in my heart, and I love where I'm at right now. I even though we've had tragedies, like I said, I love where my life is right now. I'm supposed to be right where I'm at, and the gifts that God's given me has helped me through life. So I can't complain about anything really. So.
Yeah. I love what you just said, that you love where you're at right now. And that's when you're at peace, that's the most important thing. And I think that's what everybody looks for, even when they don't know that they're looking for it, is that just to be in peace, And so that's a beautiful thing that you can pass that along, because like I said, it is definitely needed. So I want to talk about your new Christmas album, because Angels in the Snow is a big hit for the holiday season. And of course, we can dive a little bit more into that. And then I want to talk about the other song, Merry Christmas Everyone, because that's, kind of a joyful song for everybody to hear, that we're going to be sharing with the listeners later on tonight. So tell us a little bit about your Christmas album and talk about the full year, because it was a lot. And I will tell you, I listen to almost every song on that album.
Okay. It's a lot of different things on the album. I mean, we got, your traditional songs, like Blue Christmas, White Christmas, which we try to do a little bit different. Rocking Around the Christmas Tree. We try to do them a little bit different. So it's our own version, like, Silver Bells and White Christmas. We ended up doing a medley of those two together, and of course, every song you listen, that's on my album. They're my babies, even though I did not write any of the songs on the album, believe it or not. But wow. I am in the process of writing. Yeah, they're either songs that everyone that knew the songs. At that time, I didn't have any Christmas songs written, and but I looked for some really meaningful songs in addition to your traditional songs. And some of the songs are like the true meaning of Christmas, the birth of Christ. And one of my favorite songs is It Wasn't His Child. And that's been done by Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood and some other people out there that Tim McGraw, I think, did it also. But usually I do not like listening to myself, which is, I think most singers are like that, because we always pick out different things that we could have did better on the song or whatever. But It Wasn't His Child. It's one of my, I listened to that song. I love that song. And it's the true meaning of Christmas. Once Upon a Christmas is another song that was written by, might have been written by Dolly Parton. I got to check on that, but I know she did do it with Kenny Rogers at one time. And of course, it was Silent Night. Those are all like the traditional, but the true meaning of Christmas, which I wanted that to be displayed on the album. And then I wanted some fun songs, like Rocking Around the Christmas Tree. And we were talking about the song Merry Christmas Everyone, which that has a story, so we'll get into that. And a friend of mine wrote a song called The Magic of Christmas, which is on the album. It's pretty cool song. And we had some kids on the album singing background. In fact, I brought some relatives in and some friends' kids into the studio, so they they got a chance to experience the whole recording, aspect of music, and that was fun. I think "Rocking Around the Christmas Tree" is one of the ones they're singing on, and a couple other ones. And then I also brought some other friends in to do some background, vocals. Heidi Engel. I also had some other friends that were musicians, and it just came together so well. But we recorded it in July, so it was like I'm running down the road. I got my Jeep, I got my top down on my Jeep, and I'm blasting Christmas songs all the way to the studio. It's like people are like looking at me. This is a real nut,
Right.
But sometimes that was the only time I practice to get to the studio to do the songs, because my life's so busy during the day, and it's like I got to practice on the way to the studio, and I'm listening to "Rocking Around the Christmas Tree," and they're like, "All right, stay away from that, that car. Don't get near."
Yeah, but it's okay. Look, we need to have Christmas all year round and keep people cheerful. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm just glad it wasn't a red Jeep and I didn't have a white beard, and I was good. But the two songs that we talked about, "Angels in the Snow," I had heard that song. The writer Jeff Moxie wrote that song. I had heard that song probably 3 years before I recorded this album, and I said, if I ever do a Christmas album, I have to have that song on there. And this album actually started out being just acoustic album. I didn't want all the instruments and the full-blown production. And once I went to the studio, my producer and the engineer, they started, talking me into doing a full production, and that's what it ended up being. And I'm glad we did it that way, because I've had a lot of such good feedback on this. "Angels in the Snow," it is a sad song, but it's also like a song about hope. And like I was saying earlier, it's telling you take time to slow down and enjoy what you have today, because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And it is a sad song, but during when I was promoting this album last year, some of the concerts, I was telling people about different signs, because I'd mentioned my brother had passed away, that we were getting from my brother. And people think that might be a little bit nutty, but I truly believe that, because my brother was the person who always wanted to borrow money off me. All right. And I would give him. Great guy. He was always there for me. But after he passed away, I kept finding pennies. And people said, well, that's a sign. They say that's a sign. But like, we're always heads up. One day I found 10 pennies on the street, and every one of them was heads up, and they were all together. And I tell people this. Yeah, I tell people this kind of story. And also, when my brother passed, there was like 25 red cardinals outside my mom and dad's house, and you never see like a flock of red cardinals. And she has pictures of them and that. And so I tell people about these signs, and I tell them, even though the song is sad, and I hope people they'll get to listen to it today, but it's also a song about hope and looking for those signs and knowing that those people, you just have to believe that the people that have passed and people that you love are here with you, like this Christmas season. They're here. You just have to look around. You just have to believe they're here. And, the love that you have for them is in your heart. So they're here somewhere. And that's why I recorded "Angels in the Snow" and actually titled the album "Angels in the Snow." And once people hear it, it gives them that hope. You just have to appreciate the people you love, not just during the holiday season, but, all the time.
Right,
and,
exactly.
And that's what the album's about. And so that's a little bit about "Angels in the Snow" and how it came about. And but I wanted fun songs on there, and I wanted songs that were true to, the birth of Christ and So it's a mixture of songs, but it flows along very nicely from song to song, and hopefully people don't get bored. So that's a little bit about the album and how that came about. And so, I hope people will listen to it and like the album. And I'm going to put a little plug in there about my album after that. It's called Something Worth Remembering. Now that one is dedicated to my brother. And, but it's another topic maybe you and I can talk about some other time too. So that's really about it for, what I wanted to get out about Angels in the Snow. So all you have to do is believe that, those people are here. And once they listen to the song, I'm sure they'll get that. Hopefully they get something that's hopeful out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm sure your brother is thankful and listening now, and he's going to be ecstatic knowing that, the song Angels in the Snow is really dedicated to him, even though he's going to have his own project, Something Worth Remembering. I'm sure he's with you now and hearing this and realizing that, even on the days that you didn't think that you loved him, that he knows that you absolutely loved him. And listening to your story.
Oh, no.
Go ahead.
He knew it. In fact, sometimes I would play some really rough places, and he was a big guy.
Okay.
And I'm not that big of a guy, but it always seemed like he would show up at these rough places. I'm like, what are you doing here? Oh, I just come listen to your music. But now looking back on things, I think he was there to protect me.
Exactly.
When we recorded this album, Angels in the Snow, that's when I got the idea to do something for my brother. So we ended up recording both albums at the same time. So we recorded like 24 songs. Yeah, we recorded like 24 songs that summer and got both of the albums out. But it's just definitely been a journey.
Yeah, absolutely a journey, but a journey well worth it all. And you have a beautiful gift to share with, everyone. And, I'm sure that everybody's going to appreciate and enjoy. Like I said, I'm excited that I get the opportunity to share it on my show, the songs, and, give the people something to listen to and to think about and to realize that our journeys are short and they need to learn how to trust themselves, to love, and to enjoy that journey that they're on, and realize that life is so much more than just waking up every day and worrying about the things that, we have to deal with every day, because life is life. We can't change. It's not always going to be what we want, but we can take those experiences and learn from them and keep moving forward. And that's the key about living. Yeah. So I'm excited. Correct, yep. Definitely excited that we're going to get this opportunity here. But before we do, I do play the songs. Would you like to share about if you're going to be having any other projects coming up, or if you're going to be out singing your music? You got any things you want to share with the people, and then as well your information about how they can get a hold of you, or where we can find all the music as well?
Sure. The best place to get all the information is off my webpage. www.garyprattmusic.com. There's information on there of all the different awards that, recently I won, which is awesome, and different things that might be coming up. It also tells you, a little bit about my background, and a lot of YouTube videos where you can go, because a lot of the songs, not off of the Christmas CD, but the other CD, Something Worth Remembering, we have a lot of YouTube videos out there also. It also tells you where you can get the music on all the different platforms. So that's the best place to go, or join my Gary Pratt fans page on Facebook, of course. That's the best place. We do have a couple Christmas shows coming up, smaller ones, and I'm looking, then we usually quit right in the middle of December. We don't do too many shows until the spring, because we're going to be revamping. I have a wonderful partner girl, stage partner, singing partner, Kate Zara, and she's just awesome. And she joined me about 3 years ago, and I was debating on having another girl, but my dad talked me into say, hey, you got to have this girl she'd never been in the band before, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to go through all this again. But it was the process, and it's like, do I want to put my time into this? But I'm so blessed that I have, because she's not just a wonderful singer. She's really grown, and she's so supportive of everything that I do, and vice versa. And she's awesome. So, but we're going to be revamping our show, and a couple new musicians are getting put into place, and so next year we'll be full force in the spring. We already got a lot of people booking us for fairs and stuff like that. So just check out, like I said, www.garyprattmusic.com.
All right. Well, awesome. Well, Gary, it has been such a pleasure having the opportunity to talk with you this evening. And I cannot wait for everybody, like I said, to hear these songs this evening. And I can't wait for those who are local to support you, and wherever you're doing your shows. So please, everybody, continue to support Gary Pratt, because he is a wonderful individual, and I just love your spirit. And I hope one day I get the opportunity to meet you in person, and I can hear more about your story.
Awesome. You keep please do.
Absolutely. I will definitely keep in touch. But again, I do thank you for your time, and I let you go back and enjoy your vacation. And then also
Merry Christmas, everybody, right?
That's right. And also Merry Christmas to you too. And again, thank you for coming on tonight. I appreciate you.
All right.
God
bless. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. And for everyone else, I hope that you have enjoyed this great conversation that I had with Gary. Gary has a sweet soul, and you can hear it in this conversation. And I'm sure you're going to love it, and you will hear it in his music tonight that I'm going to be playing for you. But before I do play the songs that we're going to be listening to tonight, again, which I will be playing Angels on the Snow and Merry Christmas to everyone. And also, I want to make sure you guys think about your lives. Think about how you need to be inspired and what you do every day. And if you want to have a conversation and you're sitting on that fence and not sure where to go, please reach out to me at any time at Kimberly at WSBILC@gmail.com, and let's have that chat so we can get you to take those steps and turn those dreams into actual goals. And as well, if you want more of your resource for success, monetary donations are supported now for the podcast, and we accept them through Cash App, PayPal, Good Pods, Tip Jar, or you can go directly to the website at www.wsbilc.com. And again, we would like to thank you all for listening to us tonight. We will be back next week with more amazing guests, and be sure to follow us on iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to your podcast. But until then, enjoy the rest of the evening, and good night.
Every snowfall in her dark blue winter coat, our blonde-haired little girl would go outside in the snow. We'd watch her from our window as she played out in the yard. She'd lay down on her back and slowly wave her arms, and she made angels in the snow. She wanted us to share her love of angels in the snow. Daddy, watch me fly. Can I stay outside? I'm not even cold. There's angels in the snow. Touched her room since she flew away. We know she's now God's angel, but I wonder if he knows. How can we get through winter without angels in the snow? She made in the snow. Angels in the snow. Snow is falling all around me. Children playing, having fun. It's the season of love and understanding. Merry Christmas, everyone. It's time